Welcome to Burkeshire Farm. Today we are on an adventure, no, not an adventure, we're on a quest to find some large buckets to be able to plant some sweet potatoes that we have in the backyard. We made some sweet potato slips that we learned how to do it through Deep South, planting them in the dirt, and it worked. It worked like you would not believe. We have sweet potato slips growing all over the place. We took some of the sweet potato slips to the farm, planted them. Unfortunately, we don't know if it was deer, rabbit, squirrel, something keeps chewing them down to nothing because we don't have them protected from everything. They keep growing back up, but we really don't think much is going to happen with that. So we thought we would get some large buckets and plant some of these sweet potato slips in there to see what would happen, and just leave them on the back patio at the house that we're staying in. Frank was on, what was it that you were on? Craigslist. He was on Craigslist and he found this guy. He's about an hour from us, who's selling 10-gallon buckets and 15-gallon buckets for $3 and $4 each. So that's where we're heading right now. We're gonna go see what they look like and possibly purchase some of them so we can plant some sweet potatoes. In the meantime, as you can see, it's a beautiful drive. So even if it doesn't pan out, we're at least enjoying some beautiful trees and some grass and things like that. So we're gonna find out. We'll see you in a YouTube minute to see what happens. When we arrived to where the black pots were at, a young teenager came outside, so we didn't feel comfortable to record. Her dad was somewhere else doing a job somewheres, and so she was communicating with him over the cell phone. So as you can see in the picture, though, we did take a picture, and you can see there were hundreds of pots everywhere. Frank started going through the bigger, larger pots. Some were in really good shape, and some of them were not in good condition. So as we picked through them, we found the best ones that we wanted. We loaded them up into the truck, and then we took off.
Got it. There's quite a bit down in between them. I think there's almost enough to fill every bucket we've got.
Well, we got lucky, and our quest for buckets turned out awesome. We got 20 or 25 gallon?
12.
20 or 25 gallon?
20
gallon buckets
20 gallon.
For a couple of dollars each. And then on the way home, we stopped off and got bulk dirt so that we can fill the pots up. And then what we did was we actually laid the buckets out some, so when they dumped it in, some of the buckets can actually be filled, and that's a little less work that we have to do. So now we're going to adventure in and move these all into the backyard before the rains come. All right, so the idea of putting the buckets in the truck and filling it when we were at the dirt place seemed to work. We got it all emptied, and this is the way we had to go to get to the backyard. And of course there was the valley here that is full of water. So we wheelbarrowed it. Well, actually we did not wheelbarrow it. I'll show you what we used. Got a little mucky here, but we always had to lift it up over the bricks. And then this is what we had to use to wheelbarrow all those buckets. And what happened to our shovels? Ha!
Oh, they're set. I put them set over there.
Okay, let me show you the shovels we had to use. We didn't have shovels because the shovels and the wheelbarrow is at the farm. And there was our buckets. We took 2 liners out of a trash can and we shoveled all that dirt into those buckets, except for the buckets that already had dirt in them. So we got these all out now, and the next thing we're going to do is work on the sweet potato slips. Alright, so this is the bucket that we use to grow our sweet potato slips in. We went to Sprouts, got, I don't know, 4, 8, about 10 sweet potatoes. There's orange ones, there's yellow ones, and there was purple ones. And we plant them inside this bucket where the dirt's at, and lo and behold, nothing happened. And all of a sudden these little teeny tiny sprouts started coming up. And then we now have a jungle. I do not think all the sweet potatoes sprouted, but the majority of them did. In fact, you can even see down here, there's some little baby sweet potatoes already growing again. And we just plucked these out and then put them in a jar of water. And they have been sprouting like crazy. Now when I plucked them out of here, I cut the very bottoms off and stuck them in the water. Now let me see if I can do this without breaking it. I'll just take the whole thing out. And look at the roots. And this has been probably about 2, maybe 3 weeks. And there were like little teeny tiny whiskers on them. And now look at all this growing on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them in these pots here. We're going to keep a couple of them off to the side and maybe put a couple of tomato plants or a couple of tomato plants and maybe even a pepper plant or 2 that we're going to do that. But the rest of them we're going to put 3 per pot. We're trying to kind of battle back and forth. Should we do 2 or should we do 3? We decided we have so many of these, let's go ahead and do 3. If the sweet potatoes are little because there's not enough room, then they're little. That's okay. But that's what we're going to do. We are going to untangle, maybe. I went, aha. Aha! I got one! I imagine if I pull some of the roots off, it's okay because, like I said, they just had little whiskers on it originally. Look at that! Crazy! Just kind of pull them off. Aw, baby one. See, I can tell. Well, that this one is a purple one because it's purple. I mean, these things are growing like crazy. Okay, so the funny thing about this, though, we're growing all these sweet potatoes, and Frank doesn't like sweet potatoes. But hopefully he's going to learn to like sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. He says sweet potatoes are too sweet. I told him put some salt and pepper on it. That'll do. And we got another bucket here. And it's a ball. I want 2 buckets for tomato plants, 1 bucket for peppers, and the rest are just going to be all sweet potatoes for now. Hopefully, we'll be able to move these to the farm and not have to replant other foods in here until we get to the farm. Alright, well, I'm going to put these aside. We're going to see if we can maybe, I don't know, donate some of them, or then we take these to the farm, plant them where the other ones are at. If it becomes deer food, rabbit food, squirrel food, then that's what happens. But I don't want anything to happen to these. And look at them. It's unbelievable. I can't wait until next year when it's sweet potato season again, because we are going to be so ready and so prepared. And if by then we're ready to start doing farmer's market, we will be selling sweet potatoes at the farmer's market. So we'll see what happens with that.
Sweet potato slips.
Yeah, I guess sweet potato slips. Not the sweet potatoes. You all have to grow the sweet potatoes. Okay. Well, Frank's my hero. He went to go find something so I could plant these sweet potato slips. And I was like, screwdriver, something narrow and flat. And lo and behold, he found me my shovel. Hooray! So, what I'm going to do here is just go down here, pull the dirt aside, pull the dirt aside.
Gotta make sure all those roots get down.
Yep. There we go. So, just put 1. Okay, so we got all the sweet potatoes planted, and then we have the 3 buckets that are left, and we're going to go this weekend and get a couple of tomato plants and a couple maybe pepper plants. And Frank's like, but they're not ours. Yeah, they're not ours, but it is July, and it's even probably too late to plant even a tomato plant that's been started by the nursery. But we'll go ahead and try that and see what happens. If anything, we're doing a little backyard gardening before we get out to the big farm. So we don't know what we're going to do with all these sweet potatoes. Like I said, I think we might just put them on in the dirt at the farm just to see what happens. It's probably going to end up being deer food. But we'll see what happens by planting them, because we don't want them just to die away and waste all that. It was a great experience, and we never thought that this was going to happen, to grow like this. I don't think we'll ever try the jar method after seeing how well this works. We'll love it if you follow along with us to see if we can get these to grow and what happens with us. Until next time, have a blessed day.